All right, welcome to the 2026 SEC Baseball Tournament Game 7 post-game press conference. We're joined by the Tennessee Volunteers, represented by head coach Josh Elander, along with second baseman Blake Grimmer. In a moment, Coach will make an opening statement, and then we'll take questions to Blake only, please. Reed and Clark will be passing wireless microphones, so please wait to be called upon to ask your question. Coach?
Yeah, not the result we're looking for today, but congrats to Arkansas. I mean, they really landed on some balls today. Those were hit a long way, but I thought our guys did a good job of staying in the fight, and we'll go home and rest up and get ready for our next task.
All right, if you have questions for Blake, please raise your hand. Let's start on the second row.
Blake, you guys went down early. How do you guys stay in the fight and make sure that even when the score's not in your favor early on, that you're staying in the game?
Yeah, we just got to know that there's a lot of ball game left. Like that. Those runs really came in the first few innings. We still have 7-8 innings left to go, and we know that as a squad, and we know what our hitters are able to do when we're up to the plate. So just trusting our guys, knowing that we can score as much as we let up to.
All right, in the center.
Trusting you guys. Just what is the confidence of the offense right now, maybe compared to how it was early in the season?
Yeah, we've come a long way. I think just overall we're just taking better at bats, not taking the stuff out of it, and just working towards the team. I think is what has worked over the past 3 or 4 weeks, and really helped us out down the stretch.
On the right.
Like you worked a 10-pitch walk in the first inning where you thought off 4 straight, 2 strike pitches. What were you looking for in that at bat, or what was your goal kind of hanging on there?
I was just trying to see the ball up. He was spinning the ball a lot down, and I know with the downward angle he comes with, everything's going to be going towards the dirt. So I was trying to see the ball up. I probably swung at a few sliders that probably weren't strikes, but I was just trying to grind out, hit the ball and play.
In the front row.
Blake, just 2 games here this week, but do you feel like you guys got better these 2 games, and how do you feel these 2 games can prepare you for what's next?
100%. We got some guys out there from the bullpen that really showed what they could do and really performed well yesterday and even today, like Bo Rudy closing it up there. So, yeah, I think we took a lot from these 2 games here playing an SEC competition.
Third row on the right.
Blake, what was it like, going up to playing 18 innings, I guess, of the ABS, and you won't see that in regionals, but what was your just biggest take on how adjusting with the ABS and just some scouting evaluation with that?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting first time around. I think just using it, having good strategies when you use it. Certain times it's not very smart to use it, and just using it to your advantage most of the time.
Any more questions for Blake? If not, Blake, thanks for your time tonight. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome to go. All right, if there are questions for Coach, please raise your hand. Let's start on the right.
Josh, how would you assess Evans' starts and kind of the struggles he went through with the long ball?
Yeah, I think it's just the breaking stuff was not as sharp as usual tonight. I just love that he got out there and competed. Again, obviously not his best stuff, and those guys, credit to Arkansas, they had a good approach, and they were sitting on pitches and they landed on them, and some of those were hit a long way. But again, he's a guy we have a ton of confidence in down the stretch, and he's a guy that sometimes they'd say, hey, I can't throw it today or whatnot, but him getting the ball today will give Teagan a chance to get a little bit more of a breather after those guys have been really grinding down the stretch. So him being a really good teammate there, and that off-speed stuff will be crisper next time he gets out, and we'll get a little bit more reps and get back to work.
Next one on the second row.
You guys have gone down early in a decent number of times in recent games. Even though you've been able to fight back in some of those, how hard is it playing from behind?
That's a great question. I mean, in a perfect world, there's a lot of different ways to win the game, but again, I think at this point in the year we've been through the mud and we've won a lot of different ways and lost some different ways. So I want our guys to buy in. There's 9 innings. So if you're up by 5 in the 4th inning, you can't get giddy. And if you're down by 5, there's plenty of game left. I thought there was a little bit of lull in the middle of the game today, which that was my challenge for the guys going into next week. It can swing back and forth both ways, but you got to stay in it. And I think we can do a little bit better job of that going into next week.
Right in the center.
It's the 3rd straight start that Evans given up 3 runs or more in the first inning. What do you make of that?
Well, I think today, I mean, each one is mutually exclusive. I mean, ball's flying in Oklahoma City. He's attacking the strike zone, and today, again, they landed on some pitches. This is off-speed stuff is not as crisp, breaking ball, and again, he's kind of grinding through for us right there. So him and Rand will make those adjustments. We'll get him right back out there. But one walk, again, 3 strikeouts is probably the one that's a little bit lower. He's a guy that can punch some guys out. But if he's throwing the ball over the plate and our guys are playing defense, we'll roll with Blanco any day.
On the left side.
Josh, just in general, where do you feel like the team's at headed to next week? I mean, obviously, you want to be playing your best this time of year. Do you feel like that's the case?
Well, I think we've been challenged all year. I mean, it's a young team that now has some reps, so that's where at the end of the year, and our guys need to. One of my favorite parts about this time of year is now you're just competing for more time together as a group, and you're only guaranteed a few more games or whatever it may be. So there shouldn't be any more motivation needed. But I think going through the challenges and having some scars and having some successes, it gives them perspective going into the postseason. And we play in the SEC, and it's a bear, so it'll get you ready for the postseason. But I think offensively, the guys have really been swinging it well. It's been good to get Jay and those guys and some versatility, moving them around and getting them some different spots. Which will give us some options lineup-wise once we see what the matchups look like. And then, pitching-wise, it was good to get Appy that box checks, and Haas is really throwing the ball well. And then we got Teagan some rest. That's a small victory here. So those guys will be fresh and ready to go next week.
On the front row on the right.
Similar question. How do you feel these 2 days here can help you all going forward, and what's to come?
Well, I think just the environment. I mean, I know tonight, getting closer to the nightcap, it's a great stadium, and it's a different space, whether you're playing on the road or even just playing. We play at turf at home, getting to play on a natural surface and dealing with the ABS and all the media stuff. I mean, now with college baseball, as it continues to become bigger and bigger across the country, there's more eyes on it, and I think that will help guys as we get to the postseason, because for some of these guys, it'll be their first time doing it here in a Tennessee uniform, or it's some freshmen that'll be doing it. But yeah.
Stand on the right, second row.
I think it's 5 games in the last 6 days. No games coming up in the next couple of days. Obviously, get some rest, but what's the team going to be doing between now and Monday, and then, of course, knowing where you're going to go?
Sure. No, we'll keep it moving. We're definitely going to get some rest, but make sure they need to hydrate, reset. We'll get them back to Knoxville as soon as we can. And then that's the beauty of having Keegan Noll on our staff. I mean, a former Major League strength coach that's got a ton of experience of how do you navigate, the hot part of the summer with also you got still baseball to play, and, what do they need to be as fresh as possible for next week. So that'll be one of the main focuses right there. And then just keep it moving as far as ground balls and swings. We'll do some live ABs and some other things. And we've had a couple of years where we've done it like this, so kind of look back and see how we've done that and adjust for whatever's best for this club. But we'll get back to Knoxville. We'll get some boxes checked before we get going again.
On the third row on the right.
Coach, having Garrett last night in center field and now behind the dish, like what's it like just having his availability, presence, and just evaluating like your depth at the catcher position, and also with Clark managing yesterday and fixating from the bullpen outside the starting rotation?
Yeah, we're very blessed with those guys. Not only are they all incredibly talented and capable of being number one catchers in the league, but they're great kids too. They work hard, they bring incredible leadership qualities, and they're great teammates. We've been very, very lucky with that group. And then the thing that I think is cool is there's never like any really kind of fighting. They're all rooting for each other, and we're able to get Stone and Garrett back there tonight. Stone does a good job coming off the bench, but Garrett's a unique player, and he made himself some money in the draft this weekend just with what he did, swinging the bat and leaving the yard. And, I mean, he threw that ball to second today. I didn't get a watch on it, but I knew it was pretty good, that throw to second. So he's capable of playing both positions in the middle of the field at a high level, and he just has so many winning qualities, and a lot of our catchers do, and he's been good for us down the stretch.
On the right side, second row.
Obligatory update question on Landon Mack and Reese Chapman. Any difference with Reese today, and of course Landon as well?
Yeah, I'll talk to Landon as soon as we're done here today. No update there. Hopefully we have something. Today is Wednesday. Hopefully early next week we'll have a pretty good feel. But him and I have been, not today, but we'll be in contact. And then Reese, it seems to be we're hoping to have him back sooner rather than later. We'll see how that one plays out. But I'll get with those two guys tonight.
Any more for Coach? If not, Coach, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you guys.
Good luck the rest